好 Qingdao 完成你们可以听一个故事的我，好不好？ Okay, so there's two things that I want you to know. I'm going to tell you the first thing before I read, and then I'll tell you the second thing after I read. The first thing is that this is a non-fiction, okay? But I mask the identities. So the names are just the first letter of the name. Alright, so if a person's name is J, it'll just be J. If a person's name is T, it'll just be T. Alright? Okay. So this is a letter. This is called China Letter 17. Dear reader, when I opened my door the other morning, I thought there was cotton or synthetic stuffing that might be used to stuff a stuffed animal right after the threshold at my feet. This cotton was pushed right inside by the wind. It was fine, difficult to snatch without breaking. I blamed the neighbor. How annoying, I thought. Who would leave stuffing in the marble hall we share so that it blew in my door? What if the cat eats it? Isn't anyone thinking about the cat? Then I swiped at the stuffing, tried to prevent it from coming in, while I shut the door. I walked to work. My, it was like there was a massive thrashing of many stuffed animals, as there was synthetic cotton floating in all the air. Lo and behold, it was not stuffing, but pollen. Yes, the spores are floating from trees and by my window, even now, on a clear day, while students play basketball 13 floors down, a mile away, out of Qingdao, and over the university's fence. Spring now develops and envelops. From the mouth of the Goucher metro stop, the shrubbery looks excellent. Along the avenue between Qingdao and the university, landscapers have been busy pushing out the crinkled leaves from beneath the shrubs. A truck driving at a slow pace in the bicycle/moped lane was watering all the bushes. One wonders how they coordinate that watering schedule in such a large city. Between Qingdao and my gym, Aries Fitness, I passed by a construction zone. Buildings have been under construction there since I arrived last year. Now, there are 2 commercial glass buildings. The highest is over 30 floors tall, and the laborers are now installing the glass. On the way to or from the gym, I glance at the windows carried toward the sky, precariously by crane. I respect deeply how the laborers need to secure those thousands of windows in the steel. More often than I've monitored the progress of the 2 buildings, I've crossed paths with the laborers, wearing their yellow helmets, walking in groups near sunset, and waiting on the opposite side of the street as we wait for a signal to turn. The laborers sometimes take naps on random egg crates or on the ground by the entrance to the site. From time to time, I'll pass a man urinating in bushes right by the avenue. By the entrance to the construction site, where there usually sits a guard, 2 stray white puppies. They have lived there since the winter. They are short-haired, friendly, and never fail to approach one passing by the construction. They gambol and yip and wag their tails toward the gym. After the puppies, there's a path densely populated by bicycles and throngs of students coming and going. I'm told these are university students in their later years who live off campus in apartments there. The gym, farther on, before another apartment village like mine. Inside Aries Fitness, there's a consistent evidence that no APP or artificial thing is going to do more than provide information that could, if wisely used, improve workouts. Meaning, the phone gazing is a major obstruction for the youth who are only just starting to work out. It stops momentum. It disregards the pump. Notice this screen time in an environment geared toward lifting weights is not particularly a Chinese phenomenon. Discussing the screen-gazing athletes with my colleague, Jay, who goes to the same gym and also lives in Jinrizi too, we reason these young people with their schedules and dorms might not really have a home to rest in. So, while I gaze to digest dinner, I'm able to do so in private, while the social aspect of the gym is expressed as a sort of internet cafe. The cherry blossoms turn from white to pink, and last Monday night, I experienced the darndest thing, a small world story. I'm told the equivalent phrase is 世界很小, world too small. At the Luna Cafe, during the language corner, on the 13th, I was introduced to a big-boned man called P. He was larger than me, and not unlike a friendly bear. Anyhow, he had short dreadlocks, and he was picking at them like they were his new style. I was in a place where conversation making is the rule, so I blatantly said, "Wow, cool hair." "Thanks," he replied, a smile spreading across his face, himself standing in a black t-shirt. "You could do this too. You have long hair." "Yeah, I've never tried dreadlocks. Is it true you can't wash them?" "Once a week you can. With shampoo?" "Yeah, but any more than once a week and you would waste 500 RMB. He explained, twirling his lock, which had been done in a salon with hair clips. Then, our mutual friend said, "Nicholas is from Boston." There, I confirmed. A city called Worcester. Then the man smiled, even more widely. He shook his head while he inhaled and collected his words. I thought he was going to say something general about America, but instead he said, "I used to work at Chuck E. Cheese." "What?" "Yeah, and Food Works too. You know, that movie store there." "Yeah, Blockbuster." He had lived in my hometown, Worcester, for a year in 2009. He was familiar with the Grafton Street McDonald's and the strip clubs up the road, on Route 20. The chance of meeting a Chinese in Qingdao who had once lived in Worcester, spontaneously, is less probable than finding a four-leaf clover. I did find a four-leaf clover that very same day, but left it in the patch. Right now, the clover is plush. How low? Okay, the second thing I wanted to say is that every month I publish 2 nonfiction letters, and if you're interested in my work as an author or reading those letters, you can go on your phone and go to the website poodlepromise.com. Repeat after me, poodlepromise.com. Okay, lovely. Have an awesome night, guys. Thank you.
Worcester, Massachusetts.
All right, everyone, another big round of applause for Nicholas Poodle, everyone. Way to kick it off. Appreciate that, Nicholas. Is Rosie here? Yes? All right, our next performer is Rosie with a lady.